Hi everyone, I'm Jenna. This is Apple Dolly Creations. Welcome. I am so happy you're here. Let me know you're here. Say hi. If you see the live red button at the top left-hand corner, you know you got me live. Otherwise, it's replay. And if you could put hashtag replay in the comments, I would appreciate it. So I can come on and say hi to you and welcome you, because I do read every single comment after my lives. What we're doing today is an Easter garland. We have made several garlands. I think last year we made a garland for Easter for my daughter, if I remember correctly. I think last year we made her several garlands for different holidays. But this one, I was at Dollar Tree and just looking at, all the different things that they have. And I found this wood bead garland. This is dyed jute, and it has a little wooden carrot on the other end. So I picked up 2 of these. I also saw these and thought these were cute, and I grabbed these because when I bought all this stuff, I didn't know what we were going to do with it. But these are felt on one side and they're plaid on, and they have 3 different colors. So I picked up a pack of each of these. There's 6 of each in a pack. So I got 3 packs. And then they've had these little baby carrots for a while. Normally I take them and I dip them in the grunge just to make them look a little dirty, but we're leaving these all scrubbed up and clean today. And I got a pack of these little tiny eggs. There's 12 in a pack. They're glittered. And we're going to use some of these. So we are not using all of these supplies. We're using some of these supplies. But we're using the beads from 2 garlands. We probably will use the jute, but we're not using that wooden carrot on the other end. We'll find another reason to use that at some point. I'm using jute. And I'm using these pastel ribbons. There's like an apricot color, yellow, pink, purple, and blue. And these are all an 1/8 inch wide. And what I'm doing with these is I'm making little tassels out of them. And we're going to add those to the garland too, just to give it another dimension. So I was working on this earlier. And I'm leaving my jute in the spool. And on the other end, I put a wide-eyed needle, just so to make, I already strung one of those beaded garlands on here, just the beads. To make it easier, I'm using a needle. Now how I did that was, I cut off this wood carrot. So I just had my scissors here. I just cut that off. And I'm holding the jute. One bead come off, so we're just going to go ahead. Whoops, I can't hold that bead. We're just going to go ahead and string it on. So my jute is still attached to the spool. So all I'm doing is I'm holding the jute from the garland in one hand, and I'm taking my needle and I'm going through 2 beads at a time. And just going to pull it off. Now if I remember correctly, there's 34 beads on a garland. I counted them this morning, but. So we're just going to just feed that right off of there. I need to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm not going to keep dropping stuff. So when you're doing this, make sure that you're not taking your needle through, I get jute in my mouth, through the jute on the garland you're taking the beads off of. So I'm just taking 2 at a time. And we're going to do all these beads. Now the garland, the beads on the original garland, it's 20 inches long. So, I mean, if you just want a little one to drape over something or to put on a tiered tray, You can just do that and add this stuff that we're going to add to it. But I think I have a wooden shelf in my guest bathroom that I made out of old barnwood. And I think that's what I'm going to hang this on. So even though we're in the middle of remodeling this house while we're living here, and I swore I would never do that again, I still want it to be a little homey. Even though we're still living in boxes. So we're just going to pull these off. So I'm going to work this down on this. So this was the easiest way that I figured taking them off of one piece of jute and putting them on another was just to keep them from rolling all over the place. Is to do it with a wide-eyed needle and do it this way. So I'm not, when we tie this off, we are not going to have these really tight together because we want to tie on all these other things that we're doing. So I also posted today, I've been invited to do an event with a creative kindred group. And I posted that schedule today. So if you all want to go hop over and join the pages of those other ladies groups, there's some very talented ladies there. There was even some that I hadn't heard of, so I went and joined their group. So I joined their pages today. But all the information is in that posting today. So there you go. So I'm leaving quite a long piece here. I'll pull the needle off here because I want to add, we're going to take this because we're going to add stuff to it. And I'm thinking I'm going to take this and put it back on. Yeah, I think I am going to put that back on there. So I'm going to put the needle back on here. See, I'm thinking this, we're doing this, and I'm thinking out loud. So I'm going to stick this needle back on here, if it will allow me. The end is frayed now. And I don't have tape here. So we're just going to wrap it around here and tie it off. Maybe I can pull that up enough to feed this through. It's a little opening underneath of where they've got it tied on. So we're going to push this through. I use this stylus from Dollar Tree. In my sewing, I have one for crafting. I mean, it's just, I didn't think I'd use one as much as I do. But then I went and bought a second one. So, yeah. So we're just going to pull it through there. We're going to cut theirs off and tie ours on. I just pulled it out. Okay, let's do that again. And I'm going to put a little tiny bead of glue on their knot so that it doesn't come untied. We don't want to hang this up and the beads go flying everywhere. Even though it looks like theirs is knotted, just to be safe. Okay, so I'm just going to tie this off and I'm going to put it in a double knot. I did it again. I cut it off. That's craziness. You know, woke up Sunday morning and thanked God. I'm just going to stick it in the glue. Thanked God for waking me up. Had a really good night's sleep, and I'm not a sleeper. Walked out of the bedroom and right into a pothole. You know how life will give you a pothole? Well, Sunday, life gave me a pothole. And yesterday was another pothole. Today was another pothole. It's just one of those weeks, you know, how you have them. So I'm just wrapping this around their knot and gluing it so that it will stay. And I'm just going to hold it for a second since I cut my jute off twice. And I'm going to work one of these beads down and glue it right on the top of that knot. This might work out even better, you know? Happy mistakes, right? Okay. Straighten this out because this was all twisted up. They were thrown in a basket on a shelf at Dollar Tree. And I actually had to untwist these two to get them. I'm like, why weren't they hung? So there. Okay? So we're going to work these down. And I'm loosely doing it because we're going to add all this other stuff. I don't want a lot of play in the garland, but I want a little bit so we can tie all this stuff together. Okay? So let me cut off a section of this. Get rid of that. And let's do this. Well, this one's coming untied. So let's glue that knot there. Okay. So let's take this in and see if we can push it through. And do this one the right way. My Monday doesn't even start till tomorrow because tomorrow's my first day back to work for the week. So I'm like, I'm scared to go back to work because everything has just gone wrong. So I'm going to tie this off. Because I'm only working part-time. So I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I've been working on sewing orders today. I get the one in the mail tomorrow. Let's take a bead and glue it on top of there too. Okay, so I have about 3 inches there. So we're going to find the center. And that's where we're going to start tying this stuff on. So I made these little pom-poms and I took all these different colors of this ribbon. It's 1/8 inch wide. one of each color. And I'm not real careful about matching up the ends. Hi, Beth. But I'm trying to keep them fairly together. And then I'm just going down a couple of inches and cutting all of these off. I got the wrong scissors. And I'm just taking them and tying a knot in the center. So as I pull this, I'm working that knot to stay in the center. And we made a little, like a little pom-pom. So the way I'm going to tie this on is I'm taking, like on this one, I'm taking the blue on both sides. And I'm just pulling this really tight so that stays down. And I'm just going to tie it right in the middle, right on this garland. And I'm just knotting it. And I'm going to work it so that it's hanging down. And I got a whole bunch of these already done. So let's go 5 beads and let's put another one. Let's go 6 beads because we have these other things we want to put on here too. So it just gives it a little bit of dimension there, a little something else. So if you use the same color of the ribbon on both sides, when you go to tie these on, you won't pull, like if you used a blue and a purple, you might pull one of them completely out of the tassel. This way, you won't, if you're using the same color on both sides. So see, that's going to look really cute after we get this other stuff on here. 3, 6. So we might have to make some more of these. I do have a whole bunch of them made though. So this afternoon I'm going to start on another memory bear order and get that in the mail. 3, 6. And I have a, well, it's not a t-shirt quilt, but it's made from flannel shirts that I'm doing for somebody. And then a girl wanted some sewing done, so she's making me shirts, and I'm doing her sewing, so we bartered. Do you all ever do that with your crafting and your sewing and stuff? When I did craft shows, the women that was set up around me, sometimes we traded. They had something I liked and I had something they liked, and we just swapped. So it does help, you know, help out. Help you get what you wanted or that you need done. Well, my fingers will not hold this blue ribbon. 3, 6. So when I laid this all out this morning, I thought it needs something else, but I thought these little tassels would give it that little bit more color. Let's go the other way now. So we've made garlands out of old books. I think this is the first beaded garland we've made. So this is not normally a time that I go live. Usually it's 7 p.m. But with my husband working today, this is a good time. He's not home, and I can get it out of the way because then he'll be home and 7 p.m. he's home and I'm crafting. So, oh, I made just the right amount. Go figure that. And I didn't even count this out. So see that? I have embroidery floss sitting here and it's getting twisted in those beads. So we're going to take some of these carrots. Now there's 6 in a pack. I'm thinking 4. I was grunging stuff today. I think my husband was happy to go to work. So I'm going to take a piece of jute and cut it off. And just glue it to the back of a carrot. And we're going to use the jute to tie it on. So I'm going to lay that there and then just use the tip of the gun to push that down in. So I'm not measuring this. If it's too long, it's fine because it can just be an extra little thing on the... You can't have enough on a garland to give it dimension. I'm going to set these aside and let that glue catch. See, I'm using the garland. The other beads come on. So we used the jute, the green jute. We're just not using those little wooden carrots on this one. One more. So I was sitting here today making hair for a doll out of this jute. I need to invest in that company. I use so much of it. So those little wooden carrots, we'll use something else. But they're kind of cute. They were on the end of the garland. Let's take one of each color. Let's put these on. Now these already have a hanger, but the hanger is so tiny that we're not going to be able to, yeah, let's cut this off and put our own on. So you want it long enough to tie it. So I'm folding it in half, and on this, the fold is where I'm putting a knot. And that knot's going to help it stay on the top of that egg. And I'm working the knot down toward the end so that you still have the 2 cut ends up here. And I use the tip of my glue gun, because these are styrofoam, to make a little hole right in the top of the egg. And I'm pushing that knot we made down into the top of that. Hi, Celebrations. How you doing, Stella? We're making an Easter garland. So that worked out pretty good. So let's do that to the rest of these. We're just going to cut all these ties off. And since I have the same color ribbon sitting here, that's what we're going to use. So we're taking a whole bunch of, yeah, I'm early. I thought I would go early instead of at 7 p.m. like I normally do. We're taking a whole bunch of Dollar Tree stuff and we're making a garland out of it. So I finally found the stackable eggs. I've had everyone looking for them. I got 3 of them because I have an idea that I will figure out in my brain eventually. Hi, Robin. Welcome. We're making an Easter garland. My daughter has a huge stone fireplace. So normally my garlands that I make all go to her. But I think this one's going in my guest bathroom. I have a barnwood shelf. You probably have seen it, parts of it anyway, in some pictures that I post things that I make. But I think that's where I'm hanging this one. Even though we're in the middle of remodeling. Decorate a little bit, huh? I swore after the last house I lived in that we remodeled as we lived in it, I would never do that again. And what am I doing? Living in a remodel. But this remodel wasn't planned. It's just something that has to be done. So we got all the eggs done. We got the carrots done. And these little bunnies, I've taken 3 of each one. And I've already put the ribbon on the backs of these. I guess I didn't do the blue ones. So we're going to do the blue ones. So I'm matching up the ribbon to the colors. You don't have to do that. It'll just add another color to your garland. So I thought these were so cute when I saw them at Dollar Tree. They're just plaid with felt on the back. I love garlands too. But normally all the garlands I make go to my daughters. Because they look gorgeous on that stone fireplace. And we just have an electric fireplace. So you can't put a whole lot on the front of it. Okay, so we have all these done. So the little tassels that we made, we did every 6. So let's go in between each tassel and we'll do a bunny, and then we'll do a carrot, and then we'll do an egg, I think. Let those ones set up a little more. And we're just going to tie them on. Now, I'm not tying them really tight because of the bunny ears. So I'm letting the bunny ears hang below the beads. I'm also not going to measure how far each of these are hanging down. That way it'll look, I'm going to put some glue, if I can get it off my fingers. Okay, there's two. I'm putting a dot of glue in between the beads, and that will hold each one of these in place. That way they're not sliding all over the garland. They will stay in place. I just heard something fall. So we did two there. Let's do two beads here. My fingers are not working today. I'm in a flare-up. Oh, that's a good idea. Over your doors and cabinets. That's a good idea. I do hang them a little bit on the front of our electric fireplace, but it's not really tall, so garlands don't normally look good on it. It has to be a real short garland for it to look right on the fireplace. But that barnwood shelf that I made in my guest bathroom, well, that's where it's hanging now. They do look nice on. That's a blue. Let's do a purple. Nope, pink. So I'm going on the side of each little ribbon tosser we made, going two beads and putting a bunny. So this is going to be quite full because we're putting bunnies and eggs and carrots. See, we started with purple, got pink, blue. So we live on a lake here, and I've been feeding. I like Easter crafts too. I don't decorate a whole lot for Easter, but I do like Easter crafts. Let's see, move that over a bead. I used to only decorate the major holidays. And one time, when two of my granddaughters were little, they were coming to my house, and they were going to a daycare. So my daughter was going to Penn State, and they had free daycare for the students. She had gone back to school, and then they would come to my house so that she could get some studying done. And at daycare, they made St. Patrick's Day crafts and decorated. Well, they came to my house and I didn't have anything green. They just thought that was awful. So we had, Dollar Tree had just opened a store by us. We went to Dollar Tree and we bought shamrocks, and I had turned my family room into their playroom because they were there all the time, and let them decorate. We bought shamrocks and whatever else Dollar Tree had at that point. Well, then it wasn't good enough that we just bought for the playroom. We had to do their house too. So when their mother got home, there was shamrocks on the front door, and but the little one, she kept saying, "Nanny, this will not do. This will not do," because I didn't have any shamrocks or any St. Patrick's Day. I don't decorate for St. Patrick's Day. I'm not even sure I've ever done a St. Patrick's Day craft. But that year, they were not having it. I was like, I wasn't sure when they were coming who was actually the boss when they were there. And now, they're 18, 19 years old. And the one's moving to Florida today. I told my daughter, I said, I'm not sure who's the boss here, me or them, because they told me what to do more than I told them. But if school did it, that's the way it had to be, because that's what their teacher said. That's turning out pretty cute. So let's do eggs. So we still have, let's start a little further in with eggs. And we'll put these here and there. I reminded the one of that story because my daughter was decorating for Christmas, and she wasn't the least bit interested in helping her mother decorate. And I'm like, well, you always told me I didn't decorate right. They would tell me, well, Mommy does it this way. And they would go home and tell Mommy, well, Nanny does it that way. Then when they were at my house and I needed it to go have a doctor's appointment or something, I had a lady coming in to watch them. And they told her what she should be doing right too. It was like they were born to be bosses. That is turning out cute, isn't it? Sometimes when I think about something, it turns out, and other times it's like, whew, I'm not sure why I thought that. Let's see. Let's put, we have 2 eggs on that end. Let's do 2 eggs on this end, so it's at least a little bit the same. So we might not even have to use these carrots on this because this is getting pretty full. We have to put a couple of them though. Okay, we have the bunnies, we have the eggs. We'll put a couple carrots, maybe right in the center. Let's find out where the center is. So look at that posting that I did this morning of the Creative Kindred group that I'm going to be in. It's a whole day of crafting. So if you have nothing to do that day or you don't feel good, you can just watch crafting all day. Because there's some pretty talented ladies there. I'm thinking I'm only going to put 2 of these carrots on here. So my slot is at 10 p.m. It'll be here on my page. I'll go live here and then they'll put me in that group. So I'm kind of excited about that. Yesterday morning I woke up to 3 different attempts of being hacked. I was like, lost one page, I refuse to lose another. So there you go. What do you think? Isn't that cute? It turned out cuter than I thought. Connected to your car. Okay. It's on the 13th of February. And my slot is 10 p.m. So here right on the very ends, I'm going to put some jute as a hanger so that it'll just be a loop to hang. So let's take some of this. So you can hear it in your car, or you on your phone in your car. So I just made a loop with a knot, and I'm going to put it right over top of this green tassel. And glue 2 beads together with that loop there. Thanks, Robin. Just going to squeeze these together, that way we can hang it. I was all out of sorts yesterday, especially 3 attempts to being hacked. And the last time I was hacked when my page was taken was from Ohio. And 2 attempts yesterday was from Ohio. I'm like, I'm just a little peon in a pond. Why are they bothering me? But the last page, I lost over 2,000 followers. And I'm hoping that they find me again. But that page, I had a lot of customer info on, and it took me almost a year to find my one customer to get her memory bears to her. And I found her by advertising on Marketplace. So do you like that? It turned out a little cuter than I thought. So this is about, let's see, $1, $2, $3, $4, $6, all from Dollar Tree. Yes, I do too now. I've got so many safeguards on my page. But there was 3 attempts. 1 was from Kansas yesterday and 2 from Ohio. It's like, oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. So there you go. Those little ribbon tassels, I think, really shine that. Thank you for joining me. Our next project is going to take a little bit longer, but when you're out and about, pick up a toy ball, because this is what we're using. And I got that at Dollar Tree yesterday. So, I mean, Walmart wanted 3 something for this, and this was $1.25. Let me tell you how big around this is, because this is what we're using. 20-inch. It's just a little one. It just fits in my hand. So, God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll see you. Bye.